Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Live at the Waterhole, everyone. My name is Amy and today we are starting off here at Stony Point Nature Reserve in Betty's Bay of the Western Cape of South Africa. And it seems to be one of the few places that is not raining at the moment. Throughout Southern and East Africa there's quite a bit of rain that's coming through at the moment, but fortunately for us we've got some beautiful little rock rabbits here, or dussies, that are very cute to start off our show this afternoon. Now remember everyone that you can chat to me, and you can do so via the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream. Just remember to use @FC if you'd like to make sure that those comments or questions come straight through to me. You can also join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. Or lastly, you can now use our very own WhatsApp number. The number will be shown to you. You can add it as a contact and then send through those comments and questions as a message through to us. Looks like they are moving quite a bit today, up and down along the rocks. And they do love a bit of sunbathing, one thing that dussies are very good at. Many of you saying hello: Joanne, Ernie, Kim, Fuzzy Dunlop. Happy Feline Friday to you too. Deb, Joshua. Yes, these are indeed hyraxes. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm not sure, maybe there was a fly that was irritating that one's leg. Oh, that one at the back's clearly found the right spot, or is hoping to find the right spot. And for these dussies, you know, their priorities really are to forage here and there, go get some plant material, and that's really about it. Obviously staying safe out of any harm's way. And the rest of the time with their family groups, they sort of are here around the rocks. They are also one of the animals that are very good at not doing much at all, enjoying warm rocks and sunshine along the coast. One of my favorite things about Stony Point is the fact that we get to hear the waves of the ocean. And quite a gentle sounding sea today, so probably not too much wind around. And Dussies will live in social groups, I suppose similar to that of zebras in some way, with a dominant male and a harem of females around him that he will mate with and breed with. And there's a beautiful view of the ocean, like I was saying, very gentle waves, lovely and calm. Ari, thanks for joining us. Good afternoon to you, and it is a lovely, lovely day. Way to start here. That looks like a cormorant that's hopped out the water. Still quite wet. Its feathers are quite glossy.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure. Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Well, I think we had a view of a penguin just now. I know we have them nesting in a spot in the rocks quite close by to the camera, which is lovely. And sometimes we see quite a few of the African penguins up on the beach, resting, sort of drying off after they've been in the water looking for food. Mercedes, wildlife lady, good to have you with us this afternoon. Thank you for saying hi. Spus, you want to know if dassies are how sociable they are? They are very social, and in fact they live in colonies and quite large groups, up to about 60 individuals. So they're very much social animals. Oh, there's our little penguin, our penguin nesting in the rocks there. So lovely to be able to follow the story of these penguins here at Stony Point. And penguins are also quite social. We sometimes see them in large groups, sort of bathing together. They are monogamous pairing birds, but they can be in larger social groups as well. Alex, thanks. It has been a treat to be here at Velgevonden, which is, for those of you who may not know, one of the reserves that Wild Earth is based at, and we do filming here and put together virtual safaris that are released on our channel and shared sometimes even during live drives and that sort of thing. So I'm very, very excited to be able to share in the relatively near future, once all the footage has been processed and edited and put together beautifully by our post-production team, but just to be in an area that I haven't been to before as a naturalist and guide, it's something that we love. It adds so much growth to us as individuals, but also, you know, experience. And the more wild areas I can see in my life, the better. So I'll never say no to going somewhere new, that's for sure. It really is a place unlike anywhere that I've been. There's some similarities. Some of the tree species are overlap with that of the Lowveld, as well as further south from here is Mabula Game Reserve, which is part of our live drives, as well as we do virtual filming there. So there are some overlaps and similarities, so it's not completely foreign. But I think to have wildlife within a mountainous area is something so wonderful and new for me to experience and share, and also be able to tell the stories that we want to tell about the wildlife here, the history, and just all the beautiful things that the Waterberg has to offer. Wild at Heart, thanks for popping by to say hello. I'm glad you can stop by the show just to see what's happening. This Dusty is just posing so perfectly for us. And not often that we see the ears forward like that. They're usually sort of plucked backwards. Well, we, oh my word, look, look at this little guy. That was so adorable. We're going to head up to Owangi now for some grey-crowned cranes that are there. Wow, well, this has been, I think, the best addition to our show. At least this year, I think, is the first time that we were able to see these cranes here. Aren't they so beautiful? And just a privilege, really, to be able to share them with you and have a chance to watch them do their thing. They are one of the birds. I don't know if I would have, if I was designing a bird, I don't know if I would put all of this together. But the fact that an animal like this exists and it is so striking, it really is quite, it's got an Art Deco vibe to it, I would say. But it is so beautiful, especially with that sort of, well, it is a crown on top of the head, but it's lots of little individual spikes, if you want to put it that way, that form the sort of halo over the head, which is so beautiful.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild. Join the Wild Earth Explorers program and connect with a community passionate about wildlife. Support our mission to share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Your monthly contribution helps provide schools and children access to kids' safaris, fostering a love for nature in the next generation. Embrace the wonders of the bush and make a difference today. Wild Earth, connecting with nature.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
And these birds are communal in that they like to be in groups, but they are monogamous breeders. So they'll break off into pairs. And actually, I've just checked now, in Zimbabwe, the breeding season here lasts until May. So it is potential that they are currently still breeding in the area. And they eat a combination of things like grass seeds, but also insects, different types of leaves as well. Lots of invertebrates, even worms, millipedes, potentially crabs even. I hope that one day we'll actually see them do their courtship dance between a male and female. I believe it is quite interesting to watch. Well, we are nearing 1 p.m. now, which means that also taking place in Zimbabwe is the vulture feeding at Victoria Falls. So let's head over there. And what's interesting here is the birds know what time it is. Not that they actually know what time it is, but I think it has to do with the sun or there's something that goes on. Maybe they can hear some sounds coming, things that trigger them to know that it's time to start arriving. And for those who may not be aware, this is a feeding program that's part of a conservation effort to help provide safe food sources for vultures, which are critically endangered and vulnerable birds on the African continent at the moment due to poisoning most of the time. Alex, yes. You may say that the vultures are circling. Look at all of them stretching out their wings. It's almost like they're starting to do some ritualistic display before their food arrives. So there's a few things. They sometimes spread their wings like that especially if it's very hot, to cool down, get sort of a little bit of a breeze flowing on their bodies close by. Sometimes also if they're a little bit wet, they can dry off in that way. There's some that are perched in the trees waiting. Sometimes we also see marabou storks arriving. You can just see the shadows as more and more birds are starting to arrive here. I mean, sometimes there's so many you can barely see the ground. But vultures travel, and they can travel very far, so they don't always stick to the same region. And so you might have varying amounts of birds that arrive every day. So Mindy, it's not so much that they need supplementary feeding because there isn't enough food for them in the wild. It's more about trying to localize them to not rely, but at least have access to food that is not going to harm them. One of the leading reasons why vultures are killed, well, there's multiple reasons why, but one of the main ways in which they are killed is poison. Whether it's poisoned carcasses, whether it's lead poison, for example, or whether it's actual poison that's put there to bait the vulture to kill them, so that they can use the vulture for muti, or maybe it is because of cultural beliefs around the vultures that they are a bad omen, so they need to be killed. Or, like I say, there are carcasses that have lead poison from bullets, for example, and then that gets into the vulture, and that can also kill them. So there is multiple different things and facets to why this is done. But the bottom line is that it's allowing them to be able to eat basically what's left over, or carcasses that come from the kitchen, bones and things like that, that would just be thrown away, for example. But now they can be given to the birds and make sure that they are getting clean food, as it were.
We have just had our efforts paid off.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
We are here with a male leopard.
And now all has calmed down a little bit. You can see that basically the food's all gone. Quite impressive, isn't it? Jackie, darling, you say you never thought you would like hyenas or vultures, but how much that has changed since watching Wild Earth. Well, that's so wonderful to hear, Jackie, because I think there are quite a few people out there who have so many misconceptions about both vultures and hyenas, and of course they are very much associated with death, which is something that's not something that we per se like to think about so much. But out here in the wild, it is so important. It's part of nature and the circle of life, as it were, and they play such an important role, and in and of themselves are incredible creatures, which we are so lucky to be able to learn more and more about and understand their vital role within the system. Deb, I know it doesn't seem like that's enough to feed them all, but they don't all need to be completely full. They can have a bit, even if it is just a few pecks here or there, and then, you know, they get more again tomorrow. So it's not really about enough for them to have, you know, crops full, and they can, you know, never have to look for food on their own again. But at least, if nothing else, they're getting some clean food. That's part of making sure that they survive. And now they're all around the water bath having a drink. Yes, Eagle Lover, I know it does seem like they can read time, but like I say, I think they have that sort of sense of when feeding time is coming, when they need to arrive here for the food. Often has to do with the lighting, where the sun is, the way the heat feels, and then I think also they, like I say, maybe there's certain sounds of containers opening that they can pick up. Who knows? Probably the smell as well. But I think they would rely more on sight, particularly the species of vultures that we get in Africa. Sight is important. They have phenomenal eyesight. And I think when they see movement around the area, that also helps signal that it's time to come for their lunch. Oh, Helga, you say that the hardy-daws in the village where you stay also gather around the time that you put out food for them. Birds are incredibly intelligent, and, well, most animals actually. And they can follow up on routine very quickly, and create sort of that habit around timing and that sort of thing. Well, we all saw the waterhole a little bit further away, so let's head over to the camera that's over there. What a beautiful little group of kudus here. I don't know if they have gone for a drink yet or not, or if they are just cautiously approaching. We know that there are definitely crocs in this waterhole. They do need to be careful. And a yellow-billed stork there in front.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
April 13 marks the beginning of something powerful. Wild Earth is launching a special fundraising drive for our non-profit, the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. We're raising funds to source, create, and showcase thousands of untold stories. Stories that spark real action in conservation and social impact. Join our live fireside chat to learn more and explore how you can become a founding donor.
This week, we celebrate our planet and the power of nature. It's all about the drive to power our planet by harnessing nature's energy. Join us live as we explore the exciting world of wild power. Earth Week, only on Wild Earth.
I love how they all sort of coming back again. It's like, yes, that is a crocodile. You don't have to come any closer. Maybe they're trying to convince themselves it's not a threat to them. It does look like a smaller croc, relatively. Well, eventually they are now convinced that it's time to move off. Some of these vultures have landed here at this waterhole. And the species of vulture that we would be seeing here, specifically, I think at the moment we can see hooded vultures. You can see it's sort of the body, and then they've got like a bit of neck feathers, and then it gets even skinnier towards the top. They have quite a small head, very slimline beak, in comparison to the white-backed vultures would be the much larger ones. Much bigger head, much bigger beak. Alright, well, let's head back to South Africa and see what's happening at Tembe. Well, we have some impalas. Lovely. Who knows? Maybe some elephants will pop out a bit later as well. This is one of our favorite spots to see them. Sounds like there are still some weavers around. I can hear in the background. But it is sort of the end of that season now. Many of them will be going out of their breeding plumage, and we're going to hear less and less of them. The males will stop building nests, and they'll be quiet for the next 6-7 months or so of the year. And Tembe was one of the first places that I actually saw an impala lamb last year in November. And I think, now we are heading into the ratting season in southern Africa, where we're going to start seeing the male impalas acting very silly, to put it mildly. I don't know what is in the Kool-Aid that they're drinking, but they start to get, well, rather full of energy and chasing each other around and doing what is known as ratting. But the three that we see at the moment are looking very calm. I don't know where all the little ones have gone. We had so many babies here, but also, I mean, it's almost 6 months ago now. Can you believe it? And they would have grown up almost adult size, which is amazing. All happened so quickly. Stephanie, it's a pleasure. I'm glad that you are enjoying the show. It's depending on what the waterholes bring us, it can be quite a lot from one place to the next, or it can be sometimes quiet and relaxing. Oh, it's an Egyptian goose. I was wondering, what is that bird there? But it is an Egyptian goose that's out feeding. Does look like the weather here is quite overcast. It's not raining at the moment, but it would be interesting to take note of the elephant activity relative to the temperature over a period of time. And I'm sure one would find that elephants do become they visit these areas more frequently when it is hotter. Peter, I'm trying to figure out which white bird, but there was a yellow-billed stork earlier. It could also be a egret. Alright, let's head up to Kenya, to Lentor.
Experience the magic of the wild on an unforgettable 4-night safari at Mabula Nature Reserve, hosted by the one and only Stephen Falconbridge. With Steve as your private guide, you'll gain incredible insights into Africa's wildlife, leaving with knowledge and memories to last a lifetime. Get hands-on with conservation, track elusive cheetahs, and even take to the skies on a hot air balloon ride. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Ahina nchumo, ahina maka, emafokweni ya milu, ahina maka. Lifasira mina ritapela, zatsemba, utatsamana mina.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild.
Can hear the emerald spotted wood doves in the background, that sort of descending dove call. Oh, there's 2 hammerkops. Now, the other day I found this very interesting. We had what we thought were mating hammerkops. It's not to say that they weren't definitely mating. It's possible. But what I think we saw was the practice of hammerkops, which I actually didn't know they do. I learned something new. Was what we call false mounting. And from what I could find out about this behavior, it's unique to the hammerkop. They are the only species to do it, well, that's been observed doing this false mounting. And it's more of a social thing that these hammerkops do. Then, of course, they do mate when they're breeding as a monogamous pair. But within social groups, and they're not community nesters, so they nest monogamously, 2 together, but they do hang out in groups. And it's believed that the false mounting, when they sort of jump on each other's backs, basically, has to do possibly with dominance. Some sort of social, whether it's bonding or whether it's a dominance display of one bird to another, which I found absolutely fascinating. It was an interesting sound. I'm not sure if there is something at the waterhole. It sounded like an exhale, but I could be wrong. That is such a beautiful anna tree that towers over the waterhole here. Sometimes also we have the unstriped ground squirrel visiting us here. Also little firefinches come for a drink every now and again. Deb, you'd like to know if baboons are active at night? No, they are not. For the most part, unless they are disturbed, then they'll definitely be active. But they actually go up to roost at night in trees, and they'll sleep. So towards the end of the day, one of my favorite things when I was working on Ngala Private Game Reserve was driving the Timbavati River bed in the evening times, heading for a sundowner, and you'd have the troop of baboons walking along the sand in the river, and you know they're heading to a particular sycamore fig tree, maybe a jackalberry that they roost in, and it was always, you know, they're on their way to go sort of close down for the evening. Spas, I'm assuming this building here is a hide of some sort. I'm not exactly sure, but I assume that... Oh goodness, look at that water bath going on. It is an excellent view of the waterhole, so I would assume that that is somewhere that one can go and sit. And perhaps even sleep. Who knows? Lorraine, you'd like to know what the bird is doing. So just now it was water bathing basically, which is a way of cleaning itself. So often they'll puff out their feathers so that the water is nice and evenly spread all over, and then they'll dip themselves in the water just like that one on the left was. There we go. The hammerkop on the right is seeing its reflection in the glass there, and is probably quite interested in that. Some birds can be quite aggressive to their own reflections. I've seen it with southern ground hornbills, Egyptian geese, just to name a few. Looks like the one hammerkop has finished off, but this one is really enjoying its water bath here. Although you can clearly hear that hammerkop call. Ah, that's where they've gone to. And now after their water bath, they do some preening, getting some oil from their preening gland, applying it to their feathers, making sure that they are ready for the rest of the afternoon. Well, I believe some impala have arrived at Nkor, so let's head over there.
If you're thinking about booking a trip with Wild Earth, do it. I highly recommend it.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
can hear Burchell's starling called and came up to land in the tree just above us. And on days that are a little bit quieter, it actually gives us a lovely chance to scan around and really look to see if we can find anything. This particular waterhole is so productive. It's amazing how during the night I see so many videos pop up from Africa with leopards and lions that come through here to have a drink. I thought that was a vervet monkey for a moment, but it is not. That's a marula tree that we're looking at there, and one of the defining things of the marula are those little sort of white patches. It almost looks like hailstones have hit the tree and have knocked out little round holes, and that's one of the key things about marulas when you are trying to identify them out in the bush. We're going to have a little scan around to see if we can find any birds here at Nkoro. Nadine is controlling the camera at the moment, and she is an expert at finding the little things. Alex, it is relaxing. It's something that I love to just listen to the calls. We can hear quite a few birds at the moment. We're just trying to find them. Can hear a sounds to be a yellow-breasted apalus, as well as blacksmith lapwing. Grey go-away bird. Something's flying about there. Looks like it is a Birchall starling. Let's head over to Old Daniel. Well, before this show started, it was raining quite heavily here. But I can see that there's the unstriped ground squirrel that we had here. I think it was yesterday, feeding on some sort of a nut that was in the poop of an elephant. I think this is the same male that we had here yesterday. Busy doing its thing. I love to watch them feeding. I think they are adorable how rodents feed with those big front teeth and sort of whatever they're holding. They're like, oh, I hope no one can see me eating this. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh my goodness, Lodge, you'd like to know which animal I'd love to see being born. Any of them, absolutely any. I don't mind if it's buffalo, zebra, impala or giraffe. Those are probably the ones that come to mind as being seen, being able to be seen of compared to other animals. So any one of those four, I would be thrilled to be able to see them give birth. But probably the one that would be the most fascinating in terms of the group behavior and that sort of thing would be an elephant. So that's probably the one that I would love to see the most of all of them, but I'll take any of any birth out in the wild for sure. With elephants, you really have I believe a very unique sort of ritualized process when it comes to the birth, and the way the herd is somewhat involved, and just to see that brand new elephant, and the way the herd is sort of around, and the way mom handles it, and just everything that goes with a brand new little elephant, and how cute and tiny it must be, would be incredible. Well, as the squirrel moves off, let's head over to town. Well, it's always a treat to visit Madikwe Game Reserve, and there are some elephants that are heading off, but we also have some wildebeest and impala here. And you can see that it's definitely rainy here by how damp the ellies are. Even mistiness in the background, you can hardly see the distant hills.
My heart is pounding at the moment.
We are here in one of the best places in the world to see tigers.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on in this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
And I think many may wonder about rain and how it affects animals. You know, sometimes we may think that they tend to disappear completely, but that's not always the case. In very, very hard rain or massive storms, high winds and that sort of thing, animals do tend to stick away a little bit more. But generally what happens when it is cooler weather is that we actually have animals that don't need to move around as much, so they tend to sort of stay where they are, and it becomes more difficult to find them or to see them. But they don't hate the rain. It's not something that they detest. It's very much part of their life out here in the wild. Well, let's go see if we can see some springbuck at Onguma. Apologies, we've lost the feed there, but there are some birds at Lentor. Oh, beautiful, an African pied wagtail that's coming to the waterhole. It's such a striking wagtail, especially with the black and white coloration. That's what gives it the name pied as well. Debit is a beautiful bird, isn't it? It's also one that we see in southern Africa quite often in lots of different regions. We see the Cape wagtail often at Mantis Founders Lodge in the Eastern Cape. And then the other wagtail, which we don't think there's any location with Africam that we'll see it on for this show, is the mountain wagtail, which is such a beautiful little bird. With it has also very striking coloration, but a grey sort of very blue-grey colour on its back, and that's found up by freshwater streams, more mountainous, hence the name mountain wagtail. Oh, lovely. Let's head over to Tembe with some antelope. Well, they have come out to say hello. Here we have some impalas, but also an inyala there in the middle, and it's quite a nice time to show the difference between the two. Most obviously, I think, is the stripes on the inyala. Also, more often than not, these two species are found in very different areas, the same regions or same sort of reserves and things like that, so they overlap in that way. But nyalas tend to stick to the thickets around drainage lines and also around camps and lodges, whereas impalas are often out in the open. But especially in northern KwaZulu-Natal, there's a lot of overlap, and they sometimes, the nyalas do come and venture out because of sort of like the thicket fringes, and also around waterholes is also a great spot to have overlap with different species. also, nyalas are usually in groups. I only see the one here now, but I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of her herd were close by. They are not solitary antelope, especially the females, always in a small family group.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Columba and the two cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations, and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
To everyone who joined us today, thank you so much. I hope that you all enjoyed the show, and also for all the comments and questions that were sent through. It's always lovely to chat to you all. I will be back tomorrow for another show, so I'm looking forward to see what the waterholes may offer. And if they do get a little bit busier, hopefully the rain passes through and the sun comes out again like it is here at Stony Point. Remember that in an hour's time is our sunset safari. For those of you who may not know, we do go live 6 days a week, 5 for non-members and explorers, with our sunrise and sunset drives, and that will be happening all weekend long. So at 3:30 make sure you tune in for our sunset drive. But once again from me, thank you for joining us, everyone. I will see you all again tomorrow. Have a pleasant day or evening ahead, depending where you are in the world. Goodbye for now.